バトル様、大丈夫です。今お助けします。
Beller responded faintly. He probably never imagined that help would come to this eternal locked room. He was so scared that this might be an auditory hallucination brought about by his fleeting delusions, and that he couldn't be easily roused. Kanan grabbed Beller from behind and dragged him into the room. The inside of the room was terrible. The windows had been brutally shattered, and the wind and rain had made its way into the room. All kinds of tools and furniture lay broken there. However, Beller hadn't smashed them out of reach. The curtain had been removed and torn to shreds which had been twisted together. He had turned it into a rope, probably while experimenting to see if he could use it for some trick. He had tried using everything in the room, exploring all possible options of escape. The traces could be seen throughout the room, and even in the bathroom. The empty bathtub was stained with just a bit of blood, and nippers lay there on the bottom. Ugh. Okay, what the hell were you doing there, Beller? What was your idea there? To protect his tail, he had nearly been prepared to accept Ben Costello's brutal method of escape and cut himself into pieces while washing himself down the drain. Not anymore. He was even willing to tear apart his own body to protect the game Battle had entrusted him with. He had probably questioning himself over and over in this bathtub, wondering if there was any other way out. By the clock of the game rolled, not even a single day had passed. However, just how many years had that lasted in the locked room of the logic error? When faced with an endless span of time, any way of ending it, no matter how cruel, is tempting. However, he had rejected that until the very end. And, even in the last moment when his heart had died, he had wanted so much to show his iron will to escape from this locked room, that he had chosen to fall here in the corridor, with the chain still around his neck.
バトラ様、カノンです。どうかお気をしっかり。
He wiped Beller's face with a towel, wet in the sink. In response to that cold sensation, Beller's heart slowly started beating again.
So です。カノンです。よくぞ今日まで耐え忍ばれました。
ちょいと寝坊が過ぎたみてえだ。
Beller realized that the feel of the towel on his neck meant that the cursed collar and chain were gone. Yeah, well, you won't be sleeping for long. It will be time soon enough for you to wake up once again.
もうバトラ様を縛るものは何もありません。さあ、早くお戻りください。
でもよ、あのチェーンを開けるとまた鎖につながれちま
大丈夫です。もうバトラ様を縛る鎖は存在しません。僕がここに残ります。
なんだって。
By now, Better knew the terror of this eternal locker room better than anyone else. So, his happiness at being able to leave was overwhelmed by this shock and determination of this room's new prisoner.
僕は大丈夫です。何も心配することはありません。
しかし
バトラ様はまだやらなければならないことが終わりなのではないですか。
俺は
早くお戻りを。あなたの代わりに戦っている人がいる。そしてあなたの帰りを待っている人がいる。あなたはまた帰らないのですか。
His stern words and gaze shot straight for Beller.
本当にいいのか。
はい、それでいいんです。これであの時の借りが返せるのですから。
借り？俺カノン君に何か。
バトラ様の借りではありません。いいから言ってください。僕は借りを作らない主義なんです。さあ早く。あなたは今度こそ待たせてはいけないんです。だから早く。
Better couldn't argue back anymore. He suddenly bowed his head, unset the chain, and opened the door. Kanon had remained in the room, so no chain appeared about Balor's neck. He could leave this locked room just by running out. The happy-sounding voices that he had heard at the far end of the corridor were replaced with an excited chatter. There must have been some sort of strange disturbance going on. As Kanon went out in the corridor to see me off, the mercer's collar and chain had already captured their new prisoner. He would remain inside this internal lock room, in Better's place.
カノン君、俺もだぜ。
何がですか。
俺も借りを作らない男だぜ。この恩は必ず返す。それもすぐにだ。
期待していいやら。さあ走って、あなたの愛する人のところへ。そしてどうかもう二度と迷わないで。
Better would not turn around any longer. He ran with everything he had. He ran out in the corridor, whose warmth he had cursed so many times. That cursed chain no longer bound him. He ran to the end of the corridor and beyond the light. Kanon, still connected to the chain, watched him go, then quietly returned to the guest room. Now, he only had to worry about his own job. Stay in this room and fix the error in logic.
これでチェーンロックをかけて。
As soon as he said it, the chain disappeared from his neck. Now, if he hid in the closet, the one place Erika hadn't checked, the broken logic would be fixed. The closet door opened slowly. It was well oiled and opened without a sound. It was cramped inside and dark. And this tiny space is the final place for me. Kanon's coffin. As long as I remain hidden here, the logic will be preserved.
簡単な仕事だな。バラの手入れより簡単さ。
Kanon entered the closet and closed the double doors from the inside. As soon as it did, a small gold butterfly appeared, melted into the darkness of the closet, and vanished. It must have been a sign that the logic had been fixed. The witch's game had already stopped, and the clock of the world of the pieces would never tick again. So, for all eternity, no one would come to save him from this place.
別にいいさ。これで借りは返したよ。ベアトリーチェ。
The power of the gold butterfly brooch taught me about love. In the third game, it gave me some quiet time alone with Jessica. I get the feeling it did many other small things for me. At any rate, now I've paid back all my debts. I owe nothing to anyone, and no one owes anything to me.
ジェシカが貸してくれた音楽テープ返してないや。いいよね、ジェシカ。あれ気に入ってたんだ。だからプレゼントにしてもらってもいいかな。ダビングして渡すからダメ？
Slowly, Kano's body began to melt into a cloud of gold butterflies. And after the inside of the cramped, dark closet glittered like a golden planetarium. It faded away like the light of fireflies and was painted over with a pitch blackness. And for all eternity. Oh, okay. In the cathedral, the gold attendees were all jostling around the other side of the red carpet. Okay, not giving me any time to think about what happened here, but okay, let's go back to Beatrice and Erika fighting each other. On the red carpet, standing across from each other, were Bato and Erika. Okay. I guess I'm gonna think about Kanon a little bit more, like after this. For now, it's time for the battle, and sell some goodies to the code attendees and the demons and witches that are gonna be watching this, like popcorn, sweets, and hot dogs and such, and back scratchers too. Back scratcher! In their hands were the dueling pistols given to them by Zephar and Furfur.
フリートロック式ですか。
Oh, okay, we're gonna go for this one.
また古風な。
気にするな。悪魔というのは様式美にこだわるものでな。
Its form was similar to an actual old-fashioned gun, but this was, of course, a demon's gun. And this wasn't a gun that would propel a lead bullet in an explosion caused by gunpowder. like the pistols used in a duel between Shun and Kano, whose bullets had contained a magic that would always kill. And these pistols also had bullets that were not made of lead.
ベアト、心配の必要はないわよ。あっさり勝ってまたリーアは悪態の日々だわ。
この勝負が終わりましたら、たまには有給を申請してみましょう。私、この戦いが終わったら、たまにはぶらりとカリブの方へ船旅にでも。
Yeah, I think that we all deserve some break after this.
この勝負が終わったらはやめとけって。決闘前に演技でもないわ。ベアと緊張感を持ってヘラヘラ笑ってる場合じゃありません。なんでリーチがリラックスしててリーアが緊張してんのよ。もう
せーの、ベアトリーチェ様しっかり。
ベアトリーチェ様に不利な一騎打ちだ。
どうして？
本来魔女は手数で勝負できる。ところがゲームが中断されたため、手持ちはバトラ様の客室の謎くらいしかないのよ。
エリカはその謎だけ青きくさびでうがっても全ての謎を解明したことになってしまう。
I wouldn't jump to conclusions. Yeah, well, it can be that Beatrice is gonna pile up mysteries upon mysteries, just like usual.
勝てるわよ。ベアトリーチェ様とバトラ様の我らが二人の主を私は信じる。お呼びですか？ありがとう。珍しく勝ちも負けも五分五分だと思ってます。だから先にお礼を言っときます。すべて職務です。
Oh.
感謝の必要はありません。あんたが前回のゲームの時、私がボロクソに負けたのにかばってくれた時嬉しかった。私生まれてから誰かにかばわれたのってあれが初めてだった。我が主にさ、私はかばわれたことがない。私が主に与えられたのは、暴かれた真実には暴き返すことで自分の痛みを打ち消すという。
I mean, you're seeing it yourself as well, I guess.
傷つけ合いの仕方だけでした。傲慢をお許しください。私は守らねばと思いました。あなたがどんなか弱い真実で生き、それをよりもっともらしい虚実の横暴で虐げられてきたか察した時、あなたを守りたいと思いました。ありがとう。短い間だったけど、あんたは最高のパートナーでした。
Hold on a second. What do you mean time was short? And that you were? You're not gonna go away anytime soon, Erika. You're not gonna go away anywhere.
これからもです。そうですね。あいつを倒したら、あんたと一緒にこの島でいっぱいミステリーを作りましょう。そしてそれをあんたに出題していじめて遊ぶ。
Yeah, that is the spirit.
どうです？気に入れました。あなたの挑戦楽しみにしています。あ、嘘ごめん。今の撤回です。こういうの負けフラグって言うんでしょ？
さあいいかい、二人の決闘者たち。
When the two demons clapped their hands, the duelists instantly returned to their bold, tense smiles.
魔法の銃に込める弾は鉛じゃないわ。
ミステリーとファンタジーのうがち合いは赤と青の真実を玉とするべきさ。
互いに真実がある限り弾は無限。
ただし一撃でも当たれば即死。両者覚悟はいいね。
当然。
無論。
Alright, both of you are ready.
栄光ある元老院の議員にして偉大なる絶対の魔女大おいでませ。汝この決闘の立ち会い人となることを誓うか。
もちろんよ。誓うわ。
The crowd split. Damnatata walked forward with Ben Castell by her side. She lit between the fists of the two duels. Then she took out an envelope with a seal of the one-winged eagle and lifted it high.
ベアトリーチェより封書にて物語の修正書を受け取ったわ。審査の結果、内容は有効。ロジックエラーの回避を宣言するわ。チェーンロックはかかったまま、これまでの赤き真実に一切矛盾しない。
Alright. Many good attendees knew the details of Battle's locker room. They realized how difficult it was. And though fiery debates had swept across the crowd during the reception, no one had been able to find an answer. And now, it was clear that Beatrice had already reached one.
よって本決闘は有効。決闘はたった1点。バトラの客室の密室をめぐって行われるわ。チェーンロックがかかった密室から後ろ宮バトラは失踪した。これについてエリカは青き真実の争点を、ベアトリーチェは反論の赤き真実の争点を。決闘は決着がつくまで続けられるものとする。
Okay. So that means that Erika will only have blue choose and Beatrice will only have like red choose. Like they cannot switch between red choose and blue choose. Okay.
上等だ。
上等です。
Sounds like the first days with Bella and Beatrice when they fought with red and blues.
OK。それではベアと、あなたが修正した新しい物語と謎をエリカに提示して。
密室のいとこ部屋よりカノンは魔法にて封印を破らずに脱出。
Alrighty then.
密室にいたり魔法にてバトラを密室の外へ脱出させた。くだらない物語。
結構。エリカ側確認は？
副賞要求。バトラを救出したのは間違いなくカノン本人である。
受けようぞ。バトラを救出したのは間違いなくカノン本人である。
Alright. There's the first shot.
副賞要求。バトラとカノンは別人である。
受けようぞ。バトラとカノンは別人である。
結構です。
エリカ、確認は以上？
今ので結構です。戦い方は決まりましたので。
オッケー。両者は弾丸を装填なさい。
Oh, Erika turned around, pressed her finger against the barrel of the pistol, made her blue truth into a bullet, and pushed it in. There was no rule saying that she had to turn away, but she didn't want her expression to be red. Or it might have been because she couldn't stand the tension of looking at Bato's bold smile. Bato had already finished loading her red truth. She waited for Erika to finish while calmly puffing on her pipe. Then, she looked at Bella, who sat on the throne of the Territory Lord, right next to the two witches who sat as witnesses to this duel. Alright, well, the time will come soon. Bella will return. Bella's consciousness was still hazy. However, he apparently understood that battle had come to Duel for his sake, so that he could be saved. It was all he could do to just look at battle with those sluggish eyes. But the flooded emotions passed between them. There was no need for words. The look was enough for them now. Erika closed her eyes tightly, her fingers still up against the barrel. At that moment, her stunning powers of concentration made all the distractions of the outside world disappear. Alright, Erika. Give it your best. Don't go down so easily. Good talk. My concentration is as sharp as ever. Are you ready, me? Fururo, Erika. First, let's lay out the situation. Adler disappeared from that locker room. The chain lock is set. Did it disappear by magic? Of course not. It has to be a trick. Kanon didn't save him with magic. He just came, took Better's place, and set a chain. Everyone knows that much. Yeah, well, you know. The bigger thing to solve right over here is how Kanon managed to exit his guest room. The cousin's room, that is. The problem is what comes next. No, it's actually what comes before. Kanon was in the cousin's room in the guest house. That room was completely sealed with duct tape. It had been proven that the seal was in effect until the time of the logic error. In other words, Kanon escaped from a locked room that was absolute, with no excuses or twisted logic possible. Good talk. This is why she called it a simple yet ultimate locked room. How did he escape from the perfect locked room known as cousin's room? If I fixated on that question, I'd be no better than your average kid detective. That room is a perfect locked room, so there is no way to escape. In other words, trying to think of ways that Kanon could have escaped from the cousin's room is simply a waste of time. Okay, so she's gonna direct her eyes to somewhere else. Okay. The real question is, how Kanon could have been somewhere other than the cousin's room at the time it was sealed? The cousin's room is a completely sealed can. If he wasn't there when it was sealed, then it's already game over. That means he was already outside at the time it was sealed. Yeah, very well can be possible. I checked everyone's location at the time sealing the rooms. That check I performed must be suspect. At that time, I had just been inside the next room over, and confirmed the presence of 5 people there with my own eyes. Hideyoshi, George, Kumasawa, Shano, Nanjo. I specifically listed the names of those 5 people when performing the location check for that room, and received confirmation that they were in there. Then, I checked to see whether everyone else was in the cousin's room, and had that confirmed for me as well. I said everyone, so whether he was Kanon or Yoshio or even Purupuri Pico Man, they all should have been sealed in the cousin's room. It seems perfect. However, though that word everyone seems perfect, something's fishy. The exact definition of phrase everyone else is all people whose names I did not mention directly. In other words, there are exceptions. For example, it's been confirmed that Hideyoshi and George were in the next room over. So humans with the name Hideyoshi or George don't need to be inside the cousin's room. It seems that Kanon told Jessica that his real name was Yoshi, but that was nowhere truth. In other words, what if Kanon's real name is the same as one of those in the next room over? They seem to be about the same age, so let's use George. So, what if there were 2 Georges in that room? Okay. That doesn't violate the rare truth saying that. Hideyoshi, George, Kumasawa, Shannon, and Nanjo are the next room over. Let's say that Kanon's real name was Tanaka George. Both Fushimiya George and Tanaka George could exist in that room at the same time. In other words, There were 6 humans with 5 names. It looked in my eyes as though there were only 5 people in the next room, but a 6th person, Kanon, was hiding somewhere. Okay, that is indeed a plan. I don't have the detective's authority, so it won't be that difficult for him to fold my eyes and hide. I see. The double name trick. Stupid. So stupid. Alright, I made my logic. Kanon, who was hiding in the next room over, not the cousin's room, left by the window after the seals were placed. Bang! There was an explosion at the barrel of her gun, staining the tip of her finger red with blood. What? Okay, I thought that she got shot right there. The blue truth gunpowder had exploded. Ah, damn it. I had Delnor seal that one. Short while ago. I told her to ban any blue truth arguing about the windows of the next room over, so I cannot use it.
どうした暴発か弾は慎重に込めぬとな
うるさいです。ちょっとしたミスです。
隣部屋の窓くだらん小細工で塞いだようだな。ガープに聞いたぞ。
そうですか。それが何か。
ドラノール、そのくだらぬ封印を解け。今やその封印は貴様らの枷であるわ。
Dato has figured out everything I've been thinking, and she's acting so confident, telling me to go ahead and use that argument.
エリカ卿。
解いてください。
Yeah, it's no problem. It's just the first bump in the road. You should still think about some stuff.
あんにゃろう。後悔させてやります。
準備はいいようだね、決闘者たち。良ければ向き合って銃口を。そして真実の火種で着火を。
After facing away and readying herself one last time, Erika spun around. Dato had been facing her since the beginning. She had a confident, challenging smile, as if she'd been kept waiting. Then, without any signal, the two slowly raised their guns, pointing the red and blue glints that hid within their belts at each other.
来い、楽しませてもらうぞ。
始めなさい。
まずカノンがいかにしていとこ部屋の密室から脱出したか、それを弾丸とします。
ほう、そちらから来るか。来るがよいぞ、存分に。
参ります。
Alright. After holding the gun high and pointing it at Dato once more, Erika pulled the trigger with statements of red and blue truth. Another soundtrack!
いとこ部屋は完全な密室が最後まで保証されています。よってカノンがこの部屋に本当にいたなら脱出は不可能です。つまりカノンは封印時にいとこ部屋にいなかったのです。カノンの名は仮のもの、本名は未だ不明です。彼の本名が仮に隣部屋の誰かと同じだったなら隣部屋の在室確認に矛盾しない。つまりいとこ部屋に収容されず隣部屋にいることができるということ。
The Golden Tenians chattered and clapped their hands in realization. As to say, of course! I didn't think of that! Ah, I love watching this. I love being surrounded by this chatter. After all, I am a detective.
隣部屋は確かに封印されましたが、ロジックエラー時には扉のみしかその維持が証明されませんでした。よって窓の封印は破られた可能性があります。カノンは隣部屋に存在し、その窓から脱出したのです。
以上。
Any other fury would be impossible. If this doesn't work, then there's no truth left. As soon as she said, that is all, both of them fired at the same time. Then the blast ran out. It was Erika's gun that fell to the floor. Oh. Yeah, Bato's red bullet had knocked Erika's gun from her hands. Was it arrogance or cowardice? If she had just aimed that bullet at Erika's heart, the whole thing would have been over. Bato had missed on purpose. There was a confident smile on her face. Yep. It was as though she was offering to play with Erika a little longer. In fact, that was Bato through and through. Beatrice, the witch who mocks others with unsolvable luck from tricks.
封印寺の隣部屋にいたのは秀吉、ジョージ、熊沢、シャノン、南條である。そして隣部屋の人数は5人である。この5つの名に該当する者以外は存在しない。すべての名は本人以外には名乗れない。
No. It was a 40 merciless red truth. Okay, well, so far you're doing great, Bato. It really was severe. Now that it had been limited to 5 people, any leeway for Kano hiding there had been completely denied. Okay, Erika, you can definitely do a lot better. Come on. Since only those two who those 5 names referred existed within the room, Erika couldn't even make a new theory by suggesting that one person held 2 names, so that the 5 names referred to only 4 people. And allowing for Kano to sneak in even though his name wasn't on the list. Well, actually, let me think about this. One person held 2 names, so 5 names referred to only 4 people, and allowing for Kano to sneak in even though his name wasn't on the list. Furthermore, the part about how every name has just one person that it belongs to, and no one can go by a name that is not theirs, was a fatal blow that cut down countless theories.
思えばそなたは前回の寝ぼけたわらわしか知らんのだったな。どうだエリカ、これが黄金の魔女のゲームだぜ。
It is technically her first time with Beatrice.
魔法でカノンが部屋を抜け出したっていうの。それよりどうして銃を弾くなんて甘い真似を。
人間側は魔女の謎をすべて打ち砕き、魔女側は人間側の推理を一つ打ち砕けばいい。これではアンフェアだろう。だからわらわも同じにすることにした。
同じ？
わらわもそなたの推理をすべて打ち砕いて勝利することにした。カノン脱出の謎はわらわの勝ちだが、もう一つバトラに辛酸をなめさせた最初の戦場に戻ろうぞ。
When Bato snapped her fingers, that guest room of Balor's was reconstructed. She meant to fight once more in the room that had threatened Balor with a logic error, determined to settle things once and for all.
エリカ、拾え銃を。この部屋をお前の棺桶にしてくれるわ。
その言葉、そっくりお返しします。私にチャンスを与えたことを後悔させてやります。
立ち会い人よ、エリカに X を許す。
X？ 説明不要の根拠ね。で、何を許すの？
エリカは カノンの密室脱出トリックの説明義務を負わずに、カノンをこの客室トリックをめぐる青き真実に組み入れることを許そうぞ。
If a theory for explaining how Kanon saved Bella did not also explain how Kanon escaped from his own lock room, you would have no basis. So I guess we're going for a hypothetical over here, since we still haven't explained, since Erika still hasn't explained the other one. Erika had already lost that basis. Bella was giving her a handicap by saying that she didn't need to explain that part.
当然です。あんたはカノンがバトラを助けたことを赤き真実で保証してるんですから。
Yeah, that is also true.
そんなのもらえて当然です。
Erika faced away again and concentrated even harder. As though twisting the knob on the radio, she turned all noise and idle thoughts down to zero. The sin that caused everything, the sin that Barra committed, was him forgetting about the promise he made to come back for her. Him coming back for her riding a white horse. That which he saw as an embarrassing childish line meant a lot to her. But never left the family. Forgot about her. She tried moving on and find love in George and Jesse. And when she already was suffering choosing between the two, Bella came back. And all her repressed suffering returned. Of course. Any orange one says will not work, as long as one doesn't believe in it to the core. What if this isn't better sin? What was I thinking? That I, Nefarious, would come up with such an orange, when this should be his job. Completely delusional. I was born because of him. He wanted a rival, someone in a position with him, so that he would feel fulfilled when he emerges victorious over me. To feel like he overcame his obstacles. I am the sum of thoughts that he never wants to think of. The sum of emotions he never wants to feel. For me to spew such oranges that are only meant for him to say. It's absurd. This must be how he truly feels, huh? The hell do you think you're doing, you moronic nuisance? Offering Yana a shot at freedom. Also, in regards to what you said before, you can say orange truths like that. Stop being absurd yourself and rise high to the sky.